Hello and welcome to Going Over Our Friends, the internet's best Fred Olin Ray podcast. With me as always is
Meredith.
And we have a special guest. Who's here?
My name is Hannah. Hello.
Scooping fish and see them coming over the hills and ice cream. Don't think that they're coming to talk about ice cream. Don't know if they're friendly or not, so maybe run for your life. Scooping fish and...
All right. And where might we know you from, Hannah?
I have a very familiar, you'll know me from the Ice Cream Social podcast where I just hang around in Zooms maybe. And other than that, I used to stream on Twitch and that's about it. I think I have a very generic face though, where I do look like every British person that you pass in the street. Which I do now feel like half of your listenership, if they are from America, imagine me with a lot of fake tan, really big hair. And I'm not going to ruin that. I think you can just go with that. That's exactly what I look like.
You know, I think the average British person, what I pictured in my head, I've only been to Britain once. I picture Paddington Bear now, though. So you don't look much like Paddington.
The beard is what gives it away. I have Paddington Bear's beard, and that's really the only thing we have in common. Don't like marmalade sandwiches. That's it.
Oh, man, that sounds pretty good, though. Meredith, what movie did we watch this week?
We watched Witness Unprotected, a 2018 crime thriller, also written and directed by Fred Olin Ray.
This movie is so similar in so many ways to the last three movies we've watched. I'm starting to wonder what the hell's happening here. But we'll get into that as we get into the movie. How does this thing start?
It starts with an overview of some sort of city skyline, I guess LA. Am I right?
Yeah, it's filmed in LA. It's supposed to be LA, although some of the shots look CG. I don't know if that's just the quality of the film, but it's like this weird kind of like gray, blocky sort of stuff.
My biggest gripe with LA is that the skyline, the city is just unrecognizable. You just kind of have to guess because nobody's wearing a coat.
You know, there are other cities where people don't wear coats.
No, it's just LA.
What about Miami?
Oh, well, you know it's in Miami because everybody's wearing a bikini.
Oh, that's right.
Even the men. Yes.
Yep. That's all the interstitials of Burn Notice have taught me that. Yes.
Hannah, if you visit Miami, you have to bring several bikinis. It's the only thing that they're allowed to wear.
Is it issued to you as you leave the plane doors? They like open the plane doors and they're like, right, okay, all of your clothes stay here, and here's your state-issued bikini.
Yeah, it's like how
Amazing.
In Hawaii they give you the lei. They just hand you a bikini over your neck as you get off the plane in Miami.
Oh, they just hang it off your neck. They're just like, do you know what? We don't even fasten it here. It's that hot. We just don't even do it up. Just leave. Just get out.
You look like a 6. Here you go.
Do you know what I did actually write down so I wrote some notes because I regressed to being about 12, I think, and I panicked because I was like, oh God, I'm never going to remember anything. And the very first thing I wrote down was introduction shots, generic US city, because I couldn't tell where it was, but I could tell it was America. And it did feel like I could have been watching, I don't know, like Die Hard. There was no indication as to where it was apart from America.
This proves my point. Die Hard is in LA. Nobody can tell.
Maybe we've all been conditioned to just spot LA from a mile away, but it was very US. I just couldn't tell you where it was.
Yeah.
I think they used the same shot twice. I think they use it again later on in the film.
Yeah, well, they paid for that stock footage, so they're going to use it as much as possible. If you're watching something and it takes place in Toronto, it looks 20% more generic, but LA is still a pretty generic city.
You just see somebody apologizing in the corner, and that's how you know it's
exactly.
Toronto.
Yeah, it is.
You peek and you see a Tim Hortons.
Right. All right. Well, we're, I guess, in LA. A character that is, I swear, for the first 3/4 of the movie, referred to only as Mrs. Roberts. Therefore, I will refer to her only as Mrs. Roberts. She's on a stakeout in a car. She's a PI. She's got like one of those cool like long lens cameras. She's staking out a house that's for sale. She catches in her camera a couple, an amorous couple. They drive up, they're kissing, they go into the house that's for sale for a romantic interlude. And I guess that she's catching a cheater in the act. We don't get a lot of context.
We do know that, she is a bit of like a tom girl because she's eating a burrito and she's being mothered by her daughter, because all of these movies are about a middle-aged woman with a daughter between ages 15 and 25.
It's formulaic, is what you mean.
And she's always single, and it's always a daughter. But our main character, Sam, is her first name, which I think Sam Roberts is the name of like a WWE podcaster, but that's not important. She is known for like 3 things, pretty much. She was in the movie Vision Quest. which is this 80s sports movie about like a high school wrestler.
Was she the wrestler?
No, she is like a small.
That's
She's
the
a
only
small.
question I had in my mind. As soon as he said it, I
Yeah,
was like, which was it her?
if she were the wrestler, people might remember it, but pretty much nobody remembers this movie except for like, huge fans of wrestling. She was, I believe, the replacement Gina Davis when they made The Fly 2, the direct to VHS sequel to
There's
The
a
Fly.
fly too?
Yeah, there's a Fly 2. It's with Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz plays Brundlefly's son who is trying to fight off his fly instincts.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that
You
later.
need to you need to really follow your Eric Stoltz canon. I mean, come
I
on
mean, he
now.
showed up in Back to the Future and then he dipped before reshoots
No,
happened.
he,
Okay.
he was fired from Back to the Future because he
I was
sucked,
being
but
nice.
okay. But mostly, so it's Daphne Zuniga. Mostly, she's known for playing Princess Vespa in Spaceballs,
Oh,
which
okay.
which she's going to star in again this year, I guess, because we're doing that again because we're going to do all
Nostalgia.
this stuff while Mel Brooks is still alive.
Yeah, it's all Gen X millennial nostalgia right now. It's very disappointing.
Well, yeah, but once the He-Man movie loses $150 million, we'll
Yes.
maybe put a nail in that coffin.
So her daughter's name is Lori. She's 19. She's home for the weekend from college.
Yeah, and she's just she did 3 episodes of Fuller House, but mostly is just like an actor and hasn't done that much stuff. Like,
She looks like a Gilmore Girls type person, and her voice is like pitched, I think, artificially high. It might be her regular voice, but it seemed like really high for her age.
yeah, I did see on Letterboxd somebody reviewed this movie. It's like if you made Gilmore Girls into a Lifetime movie and then dipped it in shit and then swung it around and hit it with some more shit, and it was not a positive review on Letterboxd. Just so you know.
I mean, this is not the worst Fred and Ray movie I've seen.
No, it's definitely better
Oh,
than
that's
that dog nap.
horrifying.
That
I'm like in the so far this season, these like what did Fred and Ray call them, Michael? Like the women
women's
thrillers?
thrillers, the Lifetime movies, the women's thrillers.
They're not good by any means, but they are all coming to the surface. Like they're the cream of the crop so far.
I've tried not to taint my view, especially before I watched this film, and I genuinely thought you were going to say to me, "Do you know what? This is one of the worst." So that's a terrifying view into what's about to happen.
Dog Nap Town for the holidays, I'm going to go ahead and say is the worst thing we've
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah.
Billy Frankenstein was also pretty bad, but
Mm-hmm.
at least I could see people liking Billy Frankenstein. And so far, all these Lifetime movies, they have the surface level of if you don't pay attention, they kind of look like a movie.
It sure does. And there is always something happening.
Oh, especially the first like 20 minutes, there is so much happening. I mean, we don't care about any of it, but stuff is constantly in
Stuff is
motion.
constantly happening. So, like,
You say
plus
that.
100 points.
The only thing that happens in the car in the beginning is she sits and waits and eats with her mouth open. That's the only, I couldn't get past it. I had to write it down. She ate 3 times, and all 3 times I could see the food she was eating, which was Pringles, which were just soggy, the burrito, and something else that was completely unidentifiable because the only shot of it was with her mouth.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't get past it.
So I got two things here because I have to identify the two actors that go in. But first, I want to say we have no idea where this car is in relation to the house, too, right? Like
Across the street.
yeah, it's like somewhere, but no one seems to notice. Like people are going in and out of this house, which doesn't seem like on a busy street or anything like that, and nobody notices the woman sitting there with a giant camera poking out the window. So we should recognize the man that enters right away because he has played the villain in one of the last movies we watched. That's Tim Abell again. Who was, the main star of Sniper Special Ops because Steven Seagal was the fake star but never got out of his chair. And we just saw him in the movie watch with Jesse Mack, Eyewitness, aka River Raft Nightmare, where he plays the unhinged
the guy with the
badass.
bandana?
Yeah.
Oh, the
This time
bandana,
he
like
wears
losing the
glasses
bandana
sometimes.
completely threw me off. I thought it was a different guy.
You're lucky you go home with the same man after going to a concert, I
I
think.
lost him the other night. We were at
Your husband
Was he-
is 6'6" years.
and I lost him. I
Was
turned
he
around.
wearing a bandana?
No.
Maybe.
Okay, so
Okay,
he's
important
6'5".
question.
He's just like a very, very tall person. And we went to this art show situation, like for reasons. Anyway, so trying to walk around, it's so crowded, it's hard to get through people, and everyone, of course, is so oblivious to anybody trying to move. Anyway, so I get to in front of like the bar. They had a bar at this opening, and I was just like, I was going to turn around and ask him if he wanted a drink. So I turn around and he is gone. And I look all the way around. And here's the thing. So a coworker of mine was at this event as well, and he is also, I don't know, 6'5" or something. Like from my perspective, he and my husband are eye level. And I could see him, but I couldn't see my husband. I was like, where is this guy? And then I considered for a moment that I'd like blipped into a different universe, and I would considered asking my coworker if he had ever actually met my husband because that would tell me
Oh, that
if
would
he
tell
still
you.
existed.
Yeah, and you don't know who won the last Super Bowl, so that wouldn't have helped.
Right, right, because I just introduced them a few minutes before. But then Frank like blipped back into existence shortly thereafter.
He was 100% hiding behind your coworker. It's the
He might have
only
been.
mountain he could have hidden behind, and he was like, "Do you know what will be really funny?"
It was spooky. I was in a spooky mood, and I was like, we have to leave. So we
Did
left
he,
right after.
or he snuck out for a cigarette. So the other one that sneaks into the house, sorry, back to the movie, is
Yeah, back to the movie. So, like, who's the woman who the
uh,
Tim Abell is cheating with, or doing
that
something?
is Valerie Baber.
Okay.
She was the host of that HBO show Sexcetera. That it was like one of the, they had like taxi cab confessions and all that stuff. Maybe it was like a Cinemax. It was one of those like
I
premium
never had
cable shows.
HBO. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, you were poor. Uh, she was also, high accolades for her. She was also Miss Hot Rod, 2004, and she has an MA in critical writing. So that's pretty
Oh,
much all
cool.
you need to know. She's done some softcore and, movies like this.
She's done softcore, and she was so awkward in that bed scene.
Yeah, but I think they used her for the pictures too, which is how she got the job.
Got it. Okay. So they go into the house, and she gets shot in the head for her efforts.
Well, and she goes into bed. She's like, gets naked. She goes into bed, covers herself up with the blanket or the sheet the entire time, and says, "Don't keep me waiting." Puts her
Yeah,
head
that's the
down,
awkwardness that I mentioned.
immediately falls asleep, and then doesn't notice the man come out wearing gloves, put a pillow over her head, and then shoot her.
You
Maybe
know,
she's
some
not got very good vision. It's never explained.
She's
that could
blind in
be.
that eye.
Maybe. You
Was so
never know.
sleepy.
Or narcoleptic. You never know. She could
Yeah.
have just put that head hit the pillow and that's it. She was out. You never
Yeah,
know.
she got so horny she passed right out. That happens to goats, I
Happens
hear.
all the time.
All the time, all the time.
All right. Meanwhile, back out at the car, where Mrs. Roberts' daughter Lori calls her. We establish the dynamic that Lori is a parentified child, so she acts as the mother figure to Mrs. Roberts, trying to make sure that she's eating well, exercising, sleeping, potentially going to date again after her terrible divorce.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of dialogue where like, two go in, but only one came out.
So Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
here calls her handler, her boss, the private
Uh-huh.
detective guy who gave her this assignment. His name is Joe. And Joe's like, "Great, you got the photos, get out of there." But Mrs. Roberts is like, "No, I must investigate. Why did the woman not come out?"
And Joe has the big star role in this movie because he also doesn't have to get up from his chair for 90% of the movie. So
Yeah, do you think his filming day was like one day on set?
probably.
Yeah.
So he is not famous as an actor. Any idea why this guy is famous?
Oh, he's famous?
Yes, yeah. He's a very famous person to probably, half the country.
Just this country or also in the UK?
Pretty much just this country.
Okay.
Okay, that'll tell
I
you.
don't think any of these people are famous
No,
in general, but I don't think any of these people are famous over here.
I'm gonna guess wrestler.
no, he is more famous than that. He is Simeon Rice. He was a defensive end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and like a huge defensive player, years ago in the NFL.
He is quite a large gentleman, so
Oh yeah, he's
I would have guessed sports more than anything else. But
yeah, is an expert baker. No,
Ooh.
but no, he actually went to Mount Carmel, right over here for high school. So he's a local guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe he lives in LA at that point, but he's mostly famous for playing for the Tampa Bay
Why
Buccaneers.
didn't he play for the Bears?
Because you don't actually play for your hometown usually.
Oh, Hannah. So Chicago's football team is the Bears, and so
is
and
it cold in Chicago? Because I do feel like he moved for the weather. Or is
Yeah,
Frida
you
Fusion?
have half the year, yeah. And then the other half is boiling hot, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Like the whole of America. Where you just have
yeah.
every season, every year, two extremes. Okay.
Yeah, except for in
Yeah.
LA, where it's just always like
LA's
LA
all
and
well,
Miami. So
well,
it's just
okay.
hot.
So San Diego is the only one that's like stable. It's like 78 all year round. And actually, San Francisco is usually like 65 all year round. But
Mm.
Chicago, and again, Fahrenheit, sorry. Chicago will have a bunch of 100-degree days in the summer. And then the football game in December, my wife always wants me to go to, is going to be like -40 wind chill, which is the same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. So good for us. And will cost you money and a finger to go to that game. So
Mhm.
Do
Yes.
they
Yeah.
take the finger as you take the hot dog?
they
Yeah.
grind up the finger and turn it into the next hot dog, and it's kind of like an infinite cow sort of situation.
Do you like that I pulled my only reference for any American sports, which was you serve hot dogs at your sports?
That is true.
I'm
Every
really pulling from my like the back of my memory here, or anything I've possibly ever seen on television.
That's a good point. I watched all of Ted Lasso and they didn't seem to eat in the stands.
Maybe that's because they're taking on the British feeling of soccer and they're only drinking. That's
Yeah, that could be. That could be. That's why
it'll
everybody's so
soak up the
slender.
alcohol and it'll really ruin the day.
That is definitely something about soccer fans. They are slender and rowdy.
I think that takes slender as a compliment. Thank you.
All right, so Mrs. Roberts, she investigates.
Yeah, so she walks into the house because nobody bothered to lock it.
Yeah.
And then she immediately finds the body in bed, and the cops are behind her instantaneously.
Yes.
Like they heard a noise, but three cops are already there, guns drawn.
I was baffled by the entire situation, which was that she saw two people walk into a house, presumably for vaguely nefarious reasons, which is why she's photographing them. One comes out, the one who she's photographing is still in the house, and her main conclusion is, I bet she's dead.
I mean,
I don't.
yeah.
At no point was she like, I'm breaking and entering. This lady might shoot me in the face if I walk into the house. She could be, in the bathroom. At no point is there anything other than someone could be hurt in there, which I think is what she says out loud. And I was like, what a wild conclusion to come to. There's been nothing that suggests that.
Fred Olen Ray has really strong, particular opinions about women's intuition. And this is another example of this because she could just be spending the night there, and she already had sex with her boyfriend and he left.
That's a much more reasonable conclusion. That she's living in a house that she's trying to sell.
But once again, so many things happen in this movie, so the movie can happen.
For sure. So Mrs. Roberts spends the night in the police station and the next morning is pleading her case to a detective, our main detective of the movie. His name is Matthew.
Okay, hold on. You have to recognize Matthew now, right?
No.
We literally just saw him.
Where?
He was in Killer Fiance, the first movie we did for this season.
No, he was not.
He was the main guy in it. No. The only difference is he was dating a 25-year-old in that movie, and now his love interest is like 50-something.
Wait, he was the guy who's trying to kill that girl with the nut oil?
Yes.
No.
It's the same guy. This movie came out in the same year.
I don't believe you.
He has the same haircut.
That's like a generic haircut for men.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that the selling point for that was he's got the same haircut, not the same face. I love that Kennedy was just like, do you know what? He's got the same haircut. I know, I recognize all of his facial features are exactly the same, but the selling point in it, the hair has not changed.
Okay, Meredith didn't recognize the last guy we talked about, who we've literally seen in 7 movies, because last time he had a bandana.
Yeah,
they
okay,
also age
bandana.
wildly. Fred Olen Ray's made movies over the course of the past 50-ish years, and they uses the same actors the whole time. So sometimes we'll see somebody who's in a movie, like literally his child as a child, and then there's an adult person, and I don't know.
Yes, but you do understand in this instance, both of these movies came out in 2018, right?
No, it's not the same person. He looks completely different.
Okay, please make a TikTok with a picture of him in each of these movies.
What, each of the 2 movies we've seen him in?
Yes.
Okay. That's nice. Okay. All right. So Matthew, he's just looking at what he's seeing here. She was caught at the scene of a murder, so she must have done it. She's saying like, no, absolutely not. I have photos of, who really did it. And then she hands over an empty memory card for her camera. Because she wants to deliver the photos to Joe, her boss, so she can get paid.
if she would have just turned over the photos right away, she would have been fine and the movie would have been over. But again, the movie has to happen.
I
And
mean,
two, how can they arrest her for murder when this woman was shot
Mhm.
and this woman has no gun? Our main character, there's no gun in the house. Like,
police?
oh, yeah, no, the police are bad. I forgot.
She does have the decision-making skills of a day drinker, whereas
Yeah.
every time she makes a decision, it is the worst possible. I understand. I feel like her daughter's carrying a lot of trauma, which is
Yes.
why she has to play the parent. And you can see it in every decision that she makes, and that I also wouldn't trust her to make any decisions ever. Her decision-making is wild throughout the film.
It is. She definitely has some brain damage going on.
Well, and also, she just saw a dead body like laying in a bed. Doesn't seem to affect her at all. Apparently, she sees dead bodies all the time, taking pictures of people having affairs.
Well, I imagine that the pillow is still over the dead woman's head.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. She didn't
It was
investigate. She
hidden.
might still be sleeping.
It was hidden. All right, so Lori, the daughter, picks her up from the police station. There's no bail at this point. She
No,
was
she's not
just held
arrested.
overnight for reasons?
For questioning.
For questioning, sure.
Yeah.
This is where we learn that she had switched out the memory card for a blank one, blah, blah, blah. She hid the real memory card in that half-eaten burrito.
Which thankfully they did not throw away.
Right. And so as she's like trying to like download the photos and print them off, Matthew shows up at her home and he's got the false memory card. He's like, "Hey, you gave us the wrong memory card. This one is totally blank."
And she's like, it was dark, so probably there's no pictures on there.
I love that Matthew just turns up to the house thinking she's so shit at her job. Whereas, like, of course it was. You were never going to take a photo. Of course it was dark. Why were you there? He must have so many more questions. Where he's like, yeah, well, you can take pictures of things in the dark.
Yes.
It was always going to be dark.
I also love that in these Fred Olen Ray Lifetime movies, they just tell us what happened instead of showing us like her switching out the SD card, because then you'd have to buy two SD cards if you had to switch it out, and that sounds expensive. And
Also,
then,
imagine repeatedly jamming it into the burrito for multiple takes. That burrito is going to be everywhere.
Or maybe they did, and the footage was just shit because they were filming at night.
or it was too sexual. Putting that SD card into the burrito, we all know what that means.
Oh, I don't know if you knew this, but actually the burrito had been hired because it had been in softcore porn before. That was
That's
its
true.
previous role. That's why they hired that particular
right.
burrito.
It was in Backdoor Spanish Fly 3. I recognize that burrito. Yeah.
Oh no.
For research purposes. But
Right,
anyway,
now-
so
yeah.
we have Princess Vespa looking through the photos on the SD card, like she didn't take the photos, like kind of examining them.
Yeah, she's like getting ready to print them off or whatever. She and Lori get rid of Matthew. They're like, "Oh, we'll walk you out the door." And lo and behold, we get to meet Matthew's police detective partner, Detective Walker. Mrs. Roberts recognizes him right away. She's like, "Oh, I don't like this, blah blah blah." So now she's going to clam up, not be helpful. She has no intention of delivering the photos. She's like, "That's the murderer. He's the police. I'm in trouble."
Well, two things. One, she was clammed up already. She should see that guy before she starts acting shady and like,
Yes.
not cooperating with the police, at least in terms of this movie. And two, did you recognize him since he wasn't wearing glasses?
Detective Walker?
Yeah.
I did not.
Well, he had the same hair.
I didn't know
so
he was
yeah.
the same man.
Really? See,
But,
it's
you know,
not
it
just
was
me,
dark.
Kennedy.
The Clark Kent disguises work, okay?
And I
Hypno
don't-
glasses work.
I don't mean this to sound offensive, but he did look like generic middle-aged white American man. So I was like, he looks a little bit like the guy in the photo, but not enough to know, oh, it's the man from the photos. I just thought he was a similar looking actor. They all look very similar, to be fair. There's not
yeah.
much like diversity amongst the cast.
No.
So it could
No.
have definitely been somebody else that just looked vaguely like him.
This
I
is true.
agree. All right, so we cut to another scene. Matthew and Walker are looking for evidence in the murder house. Walker conveniently finds lots of evidence that clearly he must have planted. So there was a cache of photos behind a crooked painting, and this is, I guess, what the softcore photos of the murdered woman.
Yeah, so okay, but I don't think he planted those photos. I think those photos were there because if he planted those photos, he goes to great pains to take his own photo out of the envelope.
But then why would the photos be there?
The photos were there because she was blackmailing people. And he just happened to notice that the painting was hanging sideways and find him. He actually did detective work, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Because he
Yeah.
like distracts Squareface cop and like hides his photo incriminating photo in his pocket.
Why would Fredel and Ray believe that a woman who's blackmailing men would stuff 3x5 prints in an envelope and stick it behind a painting?
I mean, what else are you gonna do? Keep it on the cloud?
I was baffled, but this shouldn't be the thing that baffled the entire film, I'll be honest, from
Oh, yeah.
start to finish, just lived in a constant state of bafflement. But I was absolutely baffled. The way he finds it is that he says, my wife hates a wonky painting,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So he's trying to straighten it, turns it round and is like, oh shit, I found something. Look at me doing my job. And they're in an envelope. But if the envelope was closed like a normal envelope, it would have been flat. But instead, they've managed to fold it, and can only be described as a paper vagina, so that it was sticking out, purposely out from the wall. And I thought she's gone to such great lengths to, I will say though, attach it with painter's tape, I think, or like masking tape, rather than like any form of anything that would have stuck. And then folded it in this a completely bizarre way so that the painting was wonky. And I just thought, you've gone to such great lengths here, darling. And then you just go and close the envelope. But it's a really good job. But now I understand, because I also wasn't sure whether they were supposed to be there or not, or whether she hid them or he hid them. So thank God you're here, Kennedy, because you're really ironing out this film as we go.
I mean, I just think if she would have used 2 nails, we would never have found those photos and the movie would have stopped right there.
Duct tape, sellotape, any other form of tape.
Or you tape the photos to the underside of a drawer like a normal person.
Or you keep them in the cloud.
Or you keep them in the cloud. So then you have to remember your password. I mean, that's a whole thing.
Password managers were a thing in 2018. It was not that long ago.
Who remembers pre-COVID days? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe she just couldn't stay awake long enough to get onto the PC.
Yeah, she must have had an undiagnosed narcolepsy.
Exactly.
All right. They also find a box of cash. They assume that all of the men in the photos are now suspects. So now Matthew's goal is to like try and hunt down the guys in the photos. Meanwhile,
Are the women shopping or eating? What's the next thing they do? Because that's all they want to do in this movie, because that's what Fredel and Ray knows women do.
Like most human beings, women shop and eat. I've been known to do both myself.
Sometimes we shop for food.
Even better. They go to an outdoor mall, which is a point in favor of this being LA, because nobody else has this nonsense. Malls.
We just call them plazas if they're an outdoor mall in the Midwest.
Yeah, but
we have those.
We do not.
No, it's just like Kimbark Plaza is the same thing.
Kimbark Plaza is not the same as a fancy outdoor mall.
It's not fancy, no, but
the Kimbark Plaza, Hannah, is a parking lot with some shops attached to it.
Yeah.
That's not a mall.
What's the difference?
One's nice.
Oh, okay.
Just the quality of the stores and the people. That's what
I would never say it to anybody, let's go to Kimbark Plaza to go shopping. Oh, you're going to go to the pharmacy and the liquor store? Like, ooh la la. Come on.
That's maybe where she does her shopping. That's why she comes to these decisions. She only goes to the pharmacy and the liquor store, and the two meet all the time.
Yeah. And then you go to Nikki's Chinese food, where they had the shrimp with boy toy that was seen on a Jay Leno show 100 years ago.
Okay. All right. So how does this move the plot forward?
Yeah, the daughter has to go back to college, which is the same thing that happened in our movie with the opera singer, which also has a generic name, Stage Fright.
Okay, so she's going to go back to school. She's going to get a ride from her friend Carrie, who is a named character that shows up in the movie for no reason at all.
This was my favorite scene. I was so ready. You know when you watch something, so I play a lot, I don't watch a lot of films, I will say, which this was really eye-opening for me, and I may never watch one again. But, so I play a lot of video games, and there was a point in this scene where Carrie shows up in the car, and the daughter she opens the boot or the trunk and looks into there, and she goes, not much room in here. And all of me thought, you're going to end up in that boot. You're going to live in there for a while. Never seen again.
No.
I was so proud of myself.
This is like probably the 50th Fred Olen Ray movie I've seen, and he is the king of setup with no payoff. Because also in this scene we get the friend saying, oh, my dad bought me this car, and then our main character looks like kind of envious or like little bitter sour grapes about the whole thing. But they have money. They live in a nice house. I know she's got to do this photography job that her daughter doesn't like, but I don't know, man.
I couldn't figure out if they're rich or poor. Because does it not cost a lot for her? I don't know a lot about your educational system, but her daughter's gone away to college
Yeah.
somewhere far. Does that not cost a lot of money?
Yes. I mean, if she's living away at college, it's probably going to cost her about $45,000 a year.
I couldn't
Yeah,
figure
but
out if they were rich or poor at this point because I was like, are you jealous of
Oh.
the car because you're poor, or are you jealous of the car because your bag doesn't fit in the boot? I really wasn't quite sure.
or are you jealous that this kid has a daughter or has a father that cares about her and their father is distant, maybe? But
Maybe. Or maybe it's just that her dad doesn't live on burritos, that he hides electrical equipment inside.
there's so many unanswered questions in this movie. It's really like David Lynchian, I think. We've got to figure this stuff out for ourselves.
That's actually really insightful. I feel the way I feel when watching a David Lynch movie that I feel when watching Fred Olen Ring movies. Nothing positive is happening.
Oh, oh no.
It's identical.
Okay, well, I'll let you know if we get letters.
But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what
Yeah.
other people think.
I know. I will say, maybe they are poor because when earlier on, when Sam goes and prints out her photos,
Mhm.
it's like the shittiest jet cartridge printer printing the like little lines of color that you can see.
She
Mhm.
prints them on printer paper.
Yeah, she
There
prints
is
them on. She doesn't even
one
use.
copy, and she doesn't even use photo paper. She just prints it out on A4, recycled, cheapest in. There's only one copy.
Yeah,
She's using
and
up all of her black ink because the photos were taken at night.
Well, that's
Well-
why, because I don't know if you've had an inkjet printer, but it is the same cost as a mortgage payment. So maybe she just doesn't want to.
100%.
She's like, "Do you know what? I can't afford the paper as well. You're just having one. That's it."
The paper comes out soggy then, right? Like
Yeah, it does.
it gets those weird little lumps when you have that much ink on the paper.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at the outdoor mall. What happens next?
Matthew arrives. He's stalking them. I don't know how he figures it out. And he's going to ask Mrs. Roberts, Sam, for help off the record. Basically, he wants to show her the photos of men in compromising positions with the murdered woman to see if she recognizes any of them. Why he thinks that she's might be a good lead for this, I don't know. But we get the best lines of dialogue of the entire movie here. So he's just saying, like, hey, maybe I can take you out to coffee. And then he says, I know this great little cafe down the road. Pause. Beat. Mrs. Roberts responds, I know that place.
Yes, exactly.
One cafe in the whole of town.
It's amazing.
If there was any other description in there, I could buy it. Like, oh yeah, I know this place at the end of this street. Then you're fine. But like
Maybe-
down the road, no.
But maybe all of the other cafes are so shit. She's like, oh, you said good cafe. We've
Yeah.
got 5. 4 of them are like only rats work in the kitchen. So it must be like Mama J's that you're talking about. It can only be one place you're talking about.
Well, and then that becomes a runner too, because they keep on doing callbacks to that the entire movie.
They knew that they had gold right there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know that
yeah.
place.
Okay, now they eat a couple of times in this movie.
Sure.
Is this the one where they get they're fine, they're sitting at the bar and they get their appetizers and then they move to a chair, or is that a later
No,
scene?
that's a different one. That's the bar.
Okay.
So right here, they're just having coffee. He shows her the photos. She's like, no, I don't recognize any of them. So he drives her home because they're flirting in this like weird kind of way because she's quite a bit older than he is. But who am I to judge? If they're making a connection, that's great.
He's a big fan of Spaceballs, so he's into it.
Yeah, I
Absolute
can see
MILF
that.
territory, I will say, because I was like, I think she's old enough to be your mother.
Yes,
But
yeah. But her hair is fantastic. It's like perfectly thick.
she's got great skin. What
Oh,
can I say?
yeah,
She's
she's
absolutely
beautiful.
great skin. And to be fair, he sat her down in, you say diner, I say cafe, whatever. He sat her down in this, what I will say is quite busy, like cafe, restaurant, diner, to show her softcore porn. That's honestly, it's like they're a little risque. Hands of the envelope. She flicks through them. She's like, "Ooh," and I was thinking, imagine being in the booth behind them as she just flicks through what is like essentially softcore porn pictures, where she's like, "Oh, seen these before? Seen loads of these." I would be like, "The police are handing me porn. I don't know what to do." She seems absolutely as unfazed as when she saw the dead body. She's like, "Oh yeah, Tuesday."
Yeah, I think,
Absolutely unfazed.
well, that's how things work in America. Actually, I'm trying to think. I think one time when I was working at a restaurant about 20 years ago, there was a dude on his laptop who kept on turning it away whenever anybody was looking, and I was like, "Oh, this dude is straight up looking at porn at 1 p.m. on a Thursday."
I will say I
Yeah,
used to go to anime conventions, very similar vibe.
yeah.
Everywhere you went, you didn't want to look at anybody's screen at any time.
No. So that leads us to nothing other than them flirting some more, right?
Yeah, they flirt, and then he drives her home. At home, her house has been invaded by police. Detective Walker found and executed a search warrant. So they're going through her underwear drawer. Lots of scenes of her underwear throughout the rest of the movie.
And the
Yeah.
only same pink pants, I will say.
Yes.
She's got one pair of they're not like full briefs, but they're not far off. And they are luminous pink, just in case you weren't sure that they were underpants. We wanted to make them as pink as possible.
Yes.
And just in case you weren't sure they were women's, women only like pink. So we'll only make them Magneto.
They're like draped all over her dresser, just like
It's the same pair we see all the time. Either that or she only owns the same underwear.
And none of them are too scandalous for the 55-year-olds that are watching this movie.
This does a couple of things. It ruins the budding romance between Mrs. Roberts and Matthew, and it allows Detective Walker to plant all sorts of evidence, such as the murder weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he planted cash or if it was just her cash, but they also look at a wad of cash and they're like, "This is evidence of crime," which police do. That they do that. Yes.
Well, and they're allowed to take it.
Yeah, they do that as well. Yes.
Civil forfeiture, the dumbest thing our country has done.
I'll look up the most egregious case in recent history, and I'll put that in the link in the comments because if I don't,
show notes.
I'm gonna go on a rant right now, and it's not appropriate. Anyway, okay, so
it can't be worse than the rant I had about pink underwear. Don't worry about that.
Your rant was topical and good. Okay, so this is the last straw, pulling out the murder weapon. Mrs. Roberts is like, "No, I'm going to reveal all I know. You're the murderer, Walker." And Matthew doesn't believe her. He's like, "This is my partner of 20 years. We're best friends." And she's not looking at her computer, and she pulls the right memory card. She's like, "The photos on this memory card will prove it." So she's not looking at the computer, so I know that there's something wrong, and it turns out Walker did a switcheroo either there or at another point at the station. That memory card is also blank. Matthew arrests Mrs. Roberts because, again, the murder weapon is right there, and he trusts his partner, Walker, more than her.
If she would have just put her initials on the memory card, we could have avoided this whole thing. Although maybe he deleted the memory card, so then she'd have to recover it.
Something like that.
Although Detective Walker doesn't really seem like the tech-savvy type, so I don't think he would be able to delete those things permanently. So,
are you just saying that because he's a boomer?
Yes.
Yes. It's because he wasn't wearing his if he was wearing his glasses, that's plus 10 intelligence. He's taken them off. He doesn't know how.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I've looked at my mom's iPhone. I know how good they are at technology. So
yeah, I helped your mom one time close all of her tabs. That was
oh no.
Yeah. But the glasses thing really does work on me because if I take my glasses off, I can no longer see the screen for my show notes. I get a million times dumber. All right. Mrs. Roberts uses her one phone call to call Joe.
And she tells Joe to call her lawyer.
Yes, exactly.
She could have just called her lawyer as soon as she was questioned by the cops, and then she wouldn't have anything. She could have handed the SD card off to the lawyer.
Could have.
And then none of this would have happened. But again, we need the movie to happen, so she needs to make a bunch of dumb decisions.
So Joe, we learn, has already handed off the photos to the end client. We don't know who the end client is right now, but we know the photos are no longer in his possession. Yep. He agrees to be as helpful as he can be, but as soon as he hangs up the phone with Mrs. Roberts, Detective Walker walks right in. He's like, "Where are the photos? Did you look at the photos? Yes? Okay, I'm going to shoot you." And then that's the end of Joe.
Yeah, because he talked to the cops like no PI ever would do.
Right.
So then how did the lawyer get to Sam if he was killed immediately after the phone call with her? Maybe there was a little break in between. Maybe it wasn't directly after he hangs up the phone. Maybe we cut to him hanging up the phone with the lawyer and scene deleted.
Could be. But we do know Hannah, don't get arrested in the States. You do only get that one phone call because
That's
she would have
not a
been.
real rule.
With her decision making up to this point, I am so surprised she didn't call for like an Uber Eats delivery. Like there was no way I expected her to call anybody who was vaguely useful in this scenario.
Just get a burrito.
Okay, back at the police station, Mrs. Roberts is being questioned by the police, and her lawyer's there.
So the detective that's questioning her is a guy whose name is Darn Old Ham, which is a perfect name.
I love
And if you
it.
go to darnoldham.com, he's got like his different headshots with like him in glasses. It's like a 30 Rock bit where you have all the people's different characters. I recommend visiting that because it's pretty amazing. Yeah, he writes books and he's got all these different characters. Check out darnoldham.com is all I'm going to say.
All right, I'll put it in the show notes. That's amazing. I love that. So he's giving counsel. We find out, yeah, the memory card's blank, blah blah blah. Then Mr. Roberts, her ex-husband, posts bail, so Mrs. Roberts gets out, and then they talk a little bit and argue. There's a reason the marriage ended, and it's because they hate each other.
Yeah, ex-husband dye job shows up out of nowhere and endangers the life of his daughter and then pieces out. That's pretty much all that
Yeah.
happens there,
Is
right?
he like a? Should I recognize him?
I don't think so. Let's see. Let me track him down because I've got these people written down in my notes. Oh, okay. So Jim Roberts, that's the ex-husband, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's a guy named Richard Varga. Uh, he did this movie and stopped acting because, but previously he was on 2 episodes of Jane the Virgin, like Ugly Betty, Scorpion, just like one-off character appearances. So like he probably moved out of LA and gave up on his dreams after starring in this Lifetime movie.
Amazing.
So
Isn't there a White Sox
I
player?
want to move away from my town and give up on my dreams after watching this film. So I can only imagine. Honestly, I was so baffled by this entire scene because I was like, he never comes back.
no,
There's no point to him being there. They have
He-
like a weird argument, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. It's been a really hard day. And I'm like, he seems absolutely just like aloof. I don't know whether he's like taken drugs before he's walked in there. I think he's made out to be some kind of lawyer. Everyone in the police station knows him. So I don't know what kind of job he does, like something that way.
yeah.
The only reason he's there is to say that he paid for the house. So again, we've just got some vague references to her taking money off of somebody, and then he leaves, never
Well,
to be seen again.
and he has a conversation with Detective Walker, and they're just be like, "Women, am I right? Oh, women are terrible." And then he calls
Bitches be
up,
crazy. That's
Yeah,
essentially
right.
that conversation.
and
That's
then he makes a phone call to get the college girl to come back home because the mother shouldn't be alone.
Mhm.
And it's not like Walker convinced him to get the kid to drive back home because like he's not that smart. And if the daughter never bothered to go back to college in the middle of the movie, like in terms of like writing this story, you don't need this phone caller character at all.
Right,
So
she
I
could
don't,
have just bailed her out.
yeah, what is this character doing in this? The script needs a second draft or possibly a finished first draft, is all I'm saying.
Just a
So
light edit. Just a light
yeah,
edit, Yeah,
I
none
got
of this
notes.
matters.
I
No,
do
yeah,
feel like if that daughter, I feel like the daughter needs like a therapist. And I do feel that
mm,
if she went to a therapist, the therapist would start to say, maybe your parents aren't the healthiest, like least toxic thing in your life. Maybe next time dad calls you and says mum needs a parent, don't go.
yeah,
Like I understand the reason that she's the way she is, and it's because the two of them are batshit. That's the conclusion that it
yeah,
came
That's
to
right.
after the entire thing.
The daughter did
yeah.
have some sort of positive adult role model in her life, but we do not see that person in this movie.
Yeah, there should like the nosy neighbor maybe somebody
Perhaps.
helping her out. Yeah,
Perhaps. But we do learn a couple of things here. Matthew recused himself from the case, which I thought was complete nonsense. But I asked my husband, who's an attorney, and I was like, is that a thing? Can police recuse themselves? Because I thought judges could only recuse themselves. Frank says, yes, this is
yeah.
accurate. Police can recuse. So he is free to flirt with Mrs. Roberts again. Thank goodness.
I love that he put the MILF above his job. And he was like, you are so sexy if you have shot somebody in the face. it's kind of worth it. I don't know whether the pink pants did it for him, but it was a wild conclusion. But again, he just seems to, he's very easily convinced. I don't know whether Walker once stole his sandwich from like the canteen fridge or something, but he's very quickly suspicious and quickly been like, don't want to get involved. But he just very quickly put her above everything else.
That's
Yeah,
right.
This
he's
lady
smitten.
he took to a cafe and showed some porn to, and is like, that's
She
it
was
now.
totally chill about it.
She was.
Yeah, you know, she's cool. She's not one of these uptight girls, you know.
She's not one of these uptight murderers. She's one of these really laid back ones.
And if she is a murderer, that's even hotter. So
Strong, independent woman with a gun.
yeah,
Now they head out to that bar that you
yeah. So
mentioned.
now they go to the bar. They're sitting at the bar. They get some food, and then they decide to get a table, which really isn't how generally things work. But I don't
I
know.
mean, you can ask the bartender if you can go to a table, and they'll tell you if they have to
Yeah.
like.
It's just weird that they're moving for no reason. Maybe it's just so they can set up a different shot and
Yeah.
make the shots
Make it
easier.
more interesting. As I said, stuff's always happening.
Yeah, even if it doesn't matter or
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, it's happening.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so they have another chat. She suggests that somebody else might have a copy of the photos. Like she knows, but she's not giving all of her information away. Matthew drives her home and they see the lights on in the house. So they both go inside to like check it out, make sure the house is empty. They are both terrible at this job.
Yeah.
The house is not empty, but he leaves. She finds her own pistol and puts it in her back pocket of her jeans because that's what you do, right? That's
Yeah.
how you carry a gun. Okay, great.
And then she
Can I
wanders
just say,
around.
the
Oh, yeah,
way
go.
she strokes the gun when it's hidden in a panel in a lamp, which I'm all here for. This is super DIY. This is feels
Yes.
like a video she watched once on TikTok, and that's how she's done it. And then she takes it out. She strokes it somewhat like a loved one, or like with more romance than she's ever shown him. She strokes it and says something really weird. And then at that point, it was weird enough that I thought, is she the murderer? have I missed something? Because it's so creepy the way that she does it. And then she just wanders off, and I thought, oh my God, she's going to kill him. This was again a point where I was like, oh, I've seen this part of the film coming. So proud of myself. Never paid off.
Yeah, it's a real high tension Fight Club style twist where she was Detective Walker all along. So,
Honestly, I felt like I'd just predicted the future, but no.
Detective Walker shows up out of nowhere and starts a villain monologue. She sets her gun on the nightstand and sets her tea down on the nightstand, and like boom, he appears out of nowhere.
Yeah. She's walked away from her gun and her tea, her two weapons, the two weapons of a woman.
Yeah.
To start a shower because she hasn't showered in days because we've been with her constantly. She's had no time to herself.
So he starts villain monologuing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
she ruined his life. She ruined his career.
but also a boy likes you is part of his villain monologue, which I think is great. That should be included in every villain monologue.
This is the first time that he says, "You've taken away my best friend." And this is I think the one of twice that he talks about his best friend. Now I don't think, what's the other cop's name? Not
Max?
Walker, the other one. Yeah, I don't think he ever mentions he's his best friend, which really gave the like feeling of, do you remember like MySpace when you had the top 8 people?
Yeah.
And it very much gave the vibe of like he thinks they're best friends, and I don't think he even considers them more than co-workers. Like I think this is a colleague.
Yeah. I'm your best friend, but you're not my best friend.
No,
you
he never
know?
talks about them being friends. He just mentions like they work together.
Yeah.
He's like, he's my best friend. He talks about him with more love than his wife. And I feel like there's more going on with Walker than he wants to admit.
Yeah, the ex-wife or the current wife rather is just an afterthought.
Yeah.
I also want to say that during this, Detective Walker's like, you could have walked away at any point. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
After I hid the gun in your house, you could have just walked into the sunshine.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
He also reveals his plan. His plan is to kill Mrs. Roberts and make it look like a suicide.
It feels like the end of the movie now, right?
Sort of, because there's a big fight.
And then I look and I'm like, how do we have 20 minutes left of this movie? Like,
oh, well, there's more burritos to be eaten.
there's more burritos.
Right.
With a mouthful.
Well, and we have to have some Home Alone style violence for the next scene for some reason.
Yeah,
Even-
Lori comes home. So Lori's home
Yeah.
from college to watch over her mother Walker looks away. Mrs. Roberts uses that moment for distraction to reclaim her hot tea.
Can I just say, as a British person, I had every love for this scene. I wouldn't waste my tea in that way because that does feel like a waste. But there was a big part of me that thought I could really see, because obviously we're not allowed guns in our homes, and I could really see myself throwing a cup of tea at a stranger. So I felt weirdly connected to it just in that moment. Just that
That's
one
fair.
decision
Absolutely.
felt, yeah, I could have done that.
And
I
that
could
tea
see.
wasn't going to be any good anyway because it was clear water that got hit that landed on him. So
Hey, it could have been a herbal, like a chamomile.
yeah, it's like a really like kind of pale one.
You could have a pale tea.
Yeah, so somehow he ends up running into the kitchen where the daughter hits him in the head with a frying pan.
He's pursuing her. Like, he knocks Mrs. Roberts out, so she's no longer a threat if she
Oh,
ever
right.
was. And like, he's running after Lori. Lori grabs a saucepan and like clocks him a couple of good times, which strains credulity, but okay.
And
So
then she ends up back upstairs and then falls
upstairs,
out the window.
she gets onto the balcony and jumps.
Well, but she doesn't jump like she kind of
No,
like
she
gets
wants to like climb off, but she has to jump part of the way, and she like busts her
like
ankle.
yeah, she lands on her back and somehow hurts her ankle.
Absolutely. She aims full on her back, and I was like, that kid's dead. I don't, he landed directly on your spine. And she's like, oh God, my ankle. I thought she was dead.
Yeah.
I thought she was a goner.
But then our middle-aged guy like is able to get out the window and land perfectly well, no injury whatsoever.
I mean, middle age, you sneeze and things go awry.
Yeah, I did hurt my back coughing the other day, which is
There
sad.
you go. Yes.
It's all the affairs he's having. He's the cardio
Yeah, oh,
right
yeah.
up there. Absolutely incredible. His stamina's out the window.
All right, so we get a scene of him advancing menacingly towards Lori, and then we cut to Mrs. Roberts. It's sometime later. She has regained consciousness. Lori and Walker are gone. Mrs. Roberts calls Matthew, her only friend in the world that she met the day before.
Well, and it's one of these ones where it makes sense in the context of like a 70s movie, but when you're on a cell phone, you don't just, he's like, what's going on? She's like, just hurry up. Like, no, he can walk and talk to you at the same time. You can explain the whole situation to him.
Anyway, so Matthew is like, oh no. And he starts an investigation. He wants to know what is what. He starts with Walker's wife, Margaret. So who's Margaret?
Oh, Margaret hasn't done too much. Mainly, I think her biggest thing for me at least is she played the Spanish teacher on Community after Chang was fired.
Oh, really?
It's yeah, so one whole episode of Community and a bunch of other stuff that I've never heard of.
So she doesn't know anything about Walker's nefarious dealings, and Matthew's like, "Hey, can I take a look at your joint bank accounts?" Totally.
I
follows.
work in banking, and I
Yes.
have worked in banking for the last 20 years. My entire job is to prevent fraud and scams. The minute that he said, can I have a look at your bank account? Can you just log on to your online bank? And I was like, he's going to steal all her money. Don't do that. So if anybody's listening, I don't care who it is. If somebody comes up to you and is like, can I just have a look at your bank? Can I just have a look at your savings account? Can you just log on? And I was like, don't do that. I don't care who it is. But she's just so happy to be like, yeah, sure. I can't really remember what my passwords are. Just take a seat, love.
Well, and I think that's for the boomer audience there. It's like, oh, I have such trouble logging into this. Who can remember this password?
Honestly, it really had a vibe of, I can't remember all my passwords. The bank are going to shout at me. She was one step away of saying, oh, wasn't this easier when you just used to go to the bank?
And then she looks at the checking account. She's like, this all looks normal. And he's like, do you have a savings account? Oh, yeah, I do.
Thank God you were here. I'm a woman. I don't do my banking. The man does the banking.
My wife does all the banking. I don't know. So I do have the statement from the checking account. I took a picture of it with my phone. Most of it's normal, like it's convenience store, auto pay car insurance, pizza for now, direct deposit, Dominimini Ristro, so they misspelled an Italian restaurant name. But the most exciting thing to me was ACLU donation. So he donated $12.93 to the ACLU.
That's an odd amount.
It's an odd amount.
ACLU?
It's the American Civil Liberties Union, usually considered to be an anti-cop organization for the most part. I don't know. It's like a little Easter egg in there. I don't know. I don't know.
That is interesting. Does he like do that just so he could say that he does donate to the ACLU and is therefore a good cop?
Yeah, but he does a bit of murdering on the side.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like, I would be a bit anti-cop if I was me, because I do a bit of murdering.
Well, and he spent $51.33 on a place called Game Master Dice. You
No, he
know,
did not. That
yeah.
man does not play games.
Oh,
Oh my
no
god.
I think
nerd has ever done a murder.
Yeah,
They
he's
don't
big.
leave, you'd have to leave the house.
He's big into Wingspan, and that's what inspired him to murder. Okay.
How did Wingspan inspire him to murder specifically?
It was this weird bonus he got, and it was.
Have you seen the price for the expansion for Wingspan? That
I
would
have
drive
not.
me to a murder as well. That's more expensive than the base pack.
There's an
It's a crazy
expansion.
price.
I know there's Fin Span and there's like Worm Span or whatever the
Oh
dragon
no,
one
there's
is.
like the Eurasia pack. There's like different bird packs.
Whoa.
I know this is not, the film is absolutely not about birds or wingspan, but no, there's loads of them, but they're really expensive.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just joking. It's probably more of a Ticket to Ride style movie.
Oh,
So
now I
so when we
understand why I
switch
did a murder.
Yeah.
when we switch to savings and see that he's been draining their account over the past 4 months, has it all gone to the expansion pack?
It's probably that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's strangely Pokemon cards, which
Oh,
explains
okay.
why it's so much money.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Maybe
Did
he's
you
starting to dabble in Magic the Gathering. Okay, not funny. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Everyone's like, no, okay, you can pick on Wingspan.
But no, we can't have those
We're
magic
not
people
picking on
after
the
us.
nana. Did you take a picture of the savings account by any chance?
I did not, because I just saw
No.
that it was minus 4,000 and all that stuff.
Honestly, I recognize it's his entire world savings. And I think she says money has been going out of the account every 3 weeks for the last however long. It's not an extraordinary amount of money.
Yeah.
I will say, for a blackmailer, it's not doing great. She's not making
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars out of this scenario. And it's always a really random amount, which is also, as someone who works in this field, very bizarre.
Yeah, well, and who takes frequent, like, aren't you flagging something if there is more than one, $1,000
Well, it's all
$1,000
transfers. So is he just transferring it to the entire situation was very baffling. But
It's
I
odd.
absolutely love that it's specifically, oh, I didn't realize all our money had gone. What a shame. The man does all the banking. I'm simply in charge. And I think he makes a reference to her waiting on him hand and foot at some point
Yeah.
in the film. And it was very much I just make the dinner. I make
Yeah.
all the sandwiches. He does all the important decisions. It had that vibe this
Yeah,
entire
she's trad wife.
scene.
She's trad wife lifestyle right there, yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's next? Do we find Simeon Rice's body where he has his arm stand in, so we don't have to have him in this scene?
First, just before we get there, Walker has Lori talk to her mother just to establish that there needs to be a trade of photos for the daughter. Also to establish the timeline. Right now it's night, but we can't get the photos until the morning.
Yeah, first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
Because she's not willing to wake somebody up in the middle of the night to save her daughter.
Why would you do that? That would
Yeah,
be such
no,
an inconvenience.
disgusting.
Exactly. So now we get Matthew in Joe's office, the site of the murder. The other detective is grumpy because Matthew shouldn't be encroaching on his case.
Yeah.
And the most notable thing I saw in that scene was that there was a drawing of a dodo bird on the wall.
Well, and the Detective Scott in that scene is Scott Thomas Reynolds, who's normally our boat guy in the movie, because he was the kayak guy in the River Raft movie.
Oh, really?
And he was the ferry guy in the Lighthouse movie we watched forever ago. So
Got it. Okay. So, but there was no water here, and there was
there was no water here. So like he's got land and sea acting experience is all I'm saying.
Oh,
he's
branching
very
out.
versatile.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So now we're in the next morning. Nothing else happens that night. Everybody gets a great night's sleep. Mrs. Roberts goes to her client.
Yeah, because Joe
Mr.
gave her
Reynolds.
the address in that phone call that she had,
Right.
which is the only thing that happened out of that phone call.
Yes, exactly. So she's making her case. She's like, I need the
Yeah.
photos. The woman who is blackmailing you is dead. You don't need the photos. He's like, all right, keep me out of it. Do you promise to keep me out of it? And she's like, I pinky promise to keep you out of it. So he gives her the photos.
But you missed our big celebrity cameo.
Who?
Going over our Fred's all-star, Meredith Thomas is the wife in this scene.
Oh, really?
She opens the door. She has been in 15 of our movies. She makes
Come on.
she makes at least 10 Lifetime movies a year. You're only allowed to make so many Lifetime movies without her. So she is contractually obligated to show up in these things, even if her part is completely unnecessary. The husband could have answered the door and said, "My wife is sleeping. Please be careful. Like, please be
Yeah.
quiet." But I guess
Amazing.
in this world of trad wives, men don't answer their own doors. That's a woman's
Yes, right.
job.
Why would
Yeah.
you open your own door?
Oy.
Welker sets a meeting location and time to trade photos for Lori. Mrs. Roberts texts Matthew. So I don't know what she texts him, but he like gets the text and he's like, on my way. And they go to this outdoor mall again.
Yeah, so the kidnapper wants to go to the public location,
Yeah.
even though he's got a gun trained on a civilian.
Uh-huh.
And like a child looking, like a young white woman, like you are not going to be able to just, say, "Oh no, I'm a cop. It's okay," with that sort of situation in public.
Good times. Everything's great. So Lori's limping because remember, she's got the ankle issue. I just wanted to mention that for no
Oh, yeah,
reason at
yeah.
all.
So
Okay.
continuity, it's a good movie, guys.
She's not broken it. It's important to say she's not broken it because she can walk on it, but it is
Exactly. She's
a little bit sore. She's got a little booby.
Yeah.
It's important to remember.
hands over the photos, but Walker's like, well, I'm going to keep Lori and we're going to drive to Mexico and I'll let her out of the car there. And we don't like this.
Okay, so I have multiple issues here. First off, why couldn't Sam have just made a photocopy of these photos and lied? Or
Mhm.
made there's any number of things, or take one of the photos out and like
She's
give him
got
the
a
rest.
camera phone. It's 2012. Like,
Yeah, she could take a picture of it. Exactly. If his plan is just to go to Mexico right after this,
Yeah.
why bother with the photos or the kidnapping at all? You're just adding more crimes to your list.
Uh-huh.
Like, if he's fleeing the country, he doesn't need to do any of this stuff. Is he trying to save face with his wife? I don't understand
No,
this
he's
at all.
abandoned her. He didn't go home last night.
no, she's
Yeah.
not going to Mexico. She's staying very firmly in the house.
Mm-hmm. With
Yeah.
only the amount of money in their checking account, nothing in savings.
So, okay, so they have their big standoff.
And Lori gets some advantage. She pushes them and flees with her mother. Now, at this point, Lori is sort of like limp running, holding hands with her mom. Walker shoots at them. Everybody's shooting. They're running, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
then they run into Matthew, who's like, stop, you can't be such a bad guy. And Walker's like, she ruined my life.
This is the most fun part of the movie is when Tim Abell is running through the mall and just shoving dudes over. He's like, "I'm a cop," and then just going out of his way to just shove dudes into walls. Like,
He
I was
does
like,
feel very much like he aims for people. He could so easily have run around them, but he does somewhat feel like, do you know what? If I'm going down, I am going to throw a man into a wall first. There is absolutely no reason he's need to manhandle any of these people other than for fun.
yeah, which I mean fits the cop profile. Again, I think this
There you
is
go. True to life.
True to life. So yeah, so then Tim Abell is forced by the evil Sam to shoot his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Matt goes down.
Sure does. Samantha says to Lori, go get help. And Lori's ankle is miraculously healed as she runs up the stairs with no problem at all.
That's just the adrenaline, Meredith. I mean, that's just how that works.
Walker runs out of bullets, blah, blah, blah. Mrs. Roberts takes Matthew's gun and shoots Walker. I guess she
Yeah.
just really wanted to get a murder in.
She has
Yeah.
some line about it being a 5-shooter instead of a 6-shooter,
Something
like
like
she
that.
outsmarted him. And then she, for the second time this season, our hero just straight up murders the villain when he is unarmed.
There's absolutely no risk to her at this point, and
No.
she doesn't aim for his leg or something. She's very clearly like, absolutely great with a gun. She's got really good aim, and instead of being like, I'll take out a leg so we can't run away, she's like, do you know what? I'm gonna do a murder.
He's not even like lunging at her at this point. He's just he's given up. He's defeated. The same thing happens in Stage Fright, where she just shoots an unarmed man at the end of the movie because that guy kidnapped her daughter and deserves it. This is some weird mom porn stuff that I don't quite understand, but apparently that's the price you have to pay for fucking with the kid.
The only note I wrote for this was that she was pretty snippy for a murderer. She does make puns as she's murdered a man, which does make it feel like she's done it before. And I didn't know
Yes.
if this was supposed to be some kind of like a commentary on the US death sentence of like going to jail's not enough, you kidnapped my daughter, or whether she just had murderous intention. And then I was reminded of the way that she caressed the gun in the house, and I thought, this was in you all along.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time.
She had 17 confirmed kills in Vietnam. And that was in the 1990s. I don't know what she was doing there, but
All right, so we
and,
get our denouement. They are at home. Lori, Matthew, Mrs. Roberts drinking wine at lunch, as you do. And
yeah.
we learn that Mrs. Roberts has a new job. She's a police photographer. She kisses Matthew. The end. Happy ending.
Oh, she's a police. I missed that whole bit about police photographer. At that point, I was mostly thinking about the weird little exchange they had when boyfriend cop was shot in the shoulder and talking about like, I've seen worse. On the Late Late Show, that is such a boomer joke because like the Late Late Show, if you are over, 70 years old, is talking about movies run on late night. But to people, under 50, the Late Late Show is either with
Conan
James
O'Brien.
the Late Late Show was the one that started with Tom Snyder and then went to
Oh,
like Craig Ferguson and
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
James Corden. Like it's been off the air for a while, but it was just a weird thing to add. But it really showed you who
Mm.
the target audience for this was. So
Also, he has seen worse because about 2 days ago he saw a woman shot in the head.
yes,
So I would
exactly.
I would
Fair.
argue seen worse pretty recently.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's a weird exchange in the house, I'll be honest. I also picked up on the fact that she's got a new job and is the not just photographer for the police, the first female photographer. They were so specific about, you know what, this that not only have you got a new job, but you're actually pretty adept as a woman.
See
It was
this.
so specific.
See, this movie is feminist. A woman
Yeah.
can be a photographer, be a PI, or be a murderer. So I mean,
Yeah, you can murder people and get a new job. And I did think a big part of me was like, do you work in the police precinct so they can keep an eye on you? Because you've just murdered a man and made a pun. And I think I would want you pretty close by.
yeah, it's
But she's also presumably at least sleeping with her co-worker, if not sleeping with her boss, as a woman
yeah,
who's maybe twice his age. You
yeah,
know, you just know the most awkward like office environment on the Monday, isn't it? When she walks in as the guy that as she's just shot the guy that you worked with dead in the
yeah.
street. She's
You're
got a new job. She's sleeping with the guy in cubicle B. Oh, that office is going to be thriving on that for
yeah.
months.
She killed this guy's best friend and now they're hooking up. I don't
Yeah,
understand this.
honestly, years later, when they've both left, that is still a story that's going to be told. Like a decade
Yeah.
later at the Christmas party, they're going to be like, "You never guess what happened in 2018."
When her daughter is talking to the therapist, it's really going to be a Maury Povich like story, I think. It's
Oh, that poor daughter. I hope somebody pays for her therapy, and I hope it's dad.
yeah.
Is it time to
So
rate the movie?
sure, I don't think we have any other final thoughts on this. I think that they didn't have many final thoughts on this movie.
I mean, it definitely was a movie. It was formulaic. It had a beginning, middle, and end, and
I
stuff
mean,
happened.
it was so similar to our first three movies. Like it's really, really weird. I'm starting to miss how our Christmas movies would mix things up. At least they came from different kingdoms. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so we've got what, one, two, three, four metrics of quality that we are going to rate on a scale of 1 to 10.
And we make the guest go first.
Yes, yes. So we're gonna start with quality slash production value. How do you think they did on this one?
I don't mean to be rude. Which is a very British response. Do you know what? There was more than one set, and I am so pleased for them. Even the diners were more than one. For like a Hallmark movie, like that kind of. Do you know what? Actually, I don't think they did too bad. Quality's a little hit and miss, but maybe like a 6 or a 7. I didn't expect like the entire. I didn't expect like $1 million movie quality for it, and I think it lived up to that.
I agree. I'm going to put it at a 6 myself, mostly because I'm very happy anytime nowadays when I'm watching something on TV and I can see what's happening and hear the dialogue. These are things that we've lost over the last couple of years. So we did it, guys. I could. It wasn't so dark I couldn't see anything, even in the night scenes. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, were some of the shot choices bad? Yes. Was the acting mostly bad? Yes. Was the story bad? Yes. But in terms of the craft itself, perfectly adequate.
Let's roll right into sense making. Did this movie make sense?
Oh, I have a horrible confession to make, which is that I didn't realize he was being blackmailed until about 2 days later. So, and I'll tell you why. Because I recognized there was blackmailing going on. I recognized she slept with men, blackmailed them, whatever. I couldn't really figure out what Walker was doing. And the reason I couldn't figure that out was that I know money had gone out of his account, but he also took her to her home to start the film. And I do feel like if you're having an affair with a man and then you blackmail him, you take all of his life savings off him, you probably wouldn't go to a house alone with him. So I didn't really understand that's what was happening.
Yeah,
I was so baffled.
it is a weird choice to still be sleeping with the woman who's blackmailing you for money.
Yeah.
Maybe he's into like the Dom community, like
And
some sort of
I'm absolutely fine with that. And I wish him all the luck in the world. But I don't feel like he's a good enough actor within the universe to pretend like he wasn't about to smash her in the face with a gun. Like, I don't
yeah.
think I would have gone into a building alone with him. Bad decision on her part, bad decision on his part. I don't think it made a lot of sense, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no.
Maybe a 5 because maybe I was a little thick around the edges. But
No,
the
this
daughter
is
didn't make sense. The ex-husband appearing didn't make any sense at all. Her job didn't make any sense. The fact that she got a job in the end after being a little murderer of someone from the precinct didn't make. Do you know what?
yeah.
I've knocked myself down to a 4.
Yeah.
I think 4 is pretty generous.
I think I can agree with 4, and that is assuming that our main character is at least a little drunk for most of the movie. Like if she
Oh,
is stone cold
she day
sober,
drinks.
it's 2.5. But like, yeah, no, she is clearly a sloppy drunk. So 4 it is.
If it was decision making, absolutely 0.
Yeah. Like
All
my
right.
Yorkie wanders into the middle of the street, and I think I trust his decision making better. So
Okay, the next metric is effort. How much effort do you think they actually put into this movie?
oh.
I want to be kind. I so want to be kind. I'm British. I feel like politeness is what we thrive on. I feel like it's so little effort went into writing it. If it had an editor in any way, shape, or form, I think they also were day drinking. I think everybody involved was day drinking at this point. It's like somebody wrote it, nobody checked anything, and then they just went, "Oh, it's recording day. We forgot," and everyone just turned up and hoped for the best. Some of the acting, some people were better than others.
Yeah.
Some of them were like, do you remember in the like 90s and early 2000s where this is a very niche and weird reference, but a lot of like American TV shows had an episode where like a ventriloquist dummy came to life. It did feel, some of the acting felt a little bit like that, whereas like you feel it's like uncanny valley. It was that level of like bizarre. So between the writing and the acting and the fact that there were more plot holes than a like Swiss cheese, I think I'm going to give it a 2. I was
Yeah.
very confused a lot of the film.
I I can see that coming up. I'm gonna say I'm gonna grade on a curve a little bit, and I'm going to give credit for I think Tim Abell is trying this entire movie. Like he is doing his full-on psycho character that Fred Olen Ray gets him to do. So I'm gonna go 4. I don't know how to rate the effort of somebody like Simeon Rice because he's mostly just sitting in his chair, and I assume his lines are written on cue cards off screen.
He stood
But
up that one time.
he stood up that one time just to show how big he was, but he didn't
I
even like go all the way up, I don't feel like. And it was not shot in a way that we could see how big he was.
Right.
It was just this weird kind of like medium shot. But it did harken back to the days of when SNL would have a sports star host and just have them have be a charisma vacuum.
don't watch a lot of TV and film. And when I say I don't watch, I do mean I watch maybe 2 films a year,
Mhm.
not including The Muppets,
Oh
Christmas
my
Carol,
god.
and
So
Die Hard
this
at
is like
Christmas. We'll take those out.
50% of your film watching for the whole year.
And it may be for the rest of my life. But this, like I say, this may put me off for life. I may sell my television and never turn it back on ever.
Kennedy, we've done her a great disservice.
Yeah.
No, I feel like this is a life lesson. You know when things go wrong when you're a child and then
Yes.
your parents are like, "Oh, it's character building." I
Mhm.
do feel like it's that kind of experience. What I will say is I did watch this film sat round a pool in Crete, which may have given me rose-tinted glasses for at least the first 5 minutes. But I do feel like everybody else at the resort looked at me as I was just like pulling my hair out, being like, "What am I watching?" I don't feel like I have the vibe of someone that was like relaxing at a 5-star resort.
Well, this is what 85 minutes of your life that you're never going to get back.
Well,
It's okay. I had very little to do.
All right, last metric of measuring the quality of this movie. Was it entertaining?
So, what I will say is I was mildly entertained, not in the way that they intended.
yeah.
So every joke she made, every pun that came out, every dip and turn, I laughed far more than I think they expected.
That's
Which
wonderful.
counts as entertainment.
Yeah.
Every time there was a woman who faced a hardship because she was a woman, it made me laugh. Every time there was a piece of terrible dialogue, every time I felt like I'd predicted something that was too clever to happen in the film.
Yeah.
All of these things count as entertainment, not as intended entertainment, but I'm taking them as entertainment. So actually, I'm going middle of the road, but only because I entertained myself. So
Yeah.
I think that counts.
No, a laugh is a laugh, whether intentional or not. Like,
Exactly. And, every time I imagined somebody being pushed into a boot, whoever it would have been, every time I imagine the ex-husband with just like a migraine at his desk, thinking, why have I just bailed her out of jail? I could have kept her there and she would have never had to speak to me again in my life. So I think I'm going middle of the road, like 5, but only because I
Yeah.
entertained myself.
there are so many opportunities in this movie to do like a reveal or a twist. Like we have the ex-husband show up. He could have been somebody we had seen earlier or somebody in on it. We had the client who was kind of built up and we didn't know who he was until he was just some guy who was in that one scene. There's so much they could have done. And yeah, if you're expecting something, but yeah, that could be really entertaining. But
Well, I did think about halfway through, I was like, do you know what? Matt is weirdly open to the idea that his supposed best friend and colleague, as soon as she mentions it was him, he doesn't really fight it at any point,
yeah.
which maybe he has like a shooter vibe. I don't know. Like maybe he's worked with him and he's done something like, I don't know, put a wet coat on top of his in the office or something. But about halfway through the film, I did think, I wonder if Matt's a murderer. Like I was
Yeah.
10 steps ahead of anything they were planning.
Yeah, if it was David Fincher's version of this movie, Matt would have also been a murderer, and then everyone else would have also been a
Or he would
murderer,
have been the
but
client or something.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Oh my gosh, if he was the client, that would have been great.
Imagine if she had just opened the door and he was like, oh, just get my husband. And there's Matt. But
Yeah.
also because he did hit on a woman, and this is absolutely fine, but is about twice his age. And her 19-year-old daughter looks closer to his age.
Oh yeah, she was super into it. I'm gonna go with 4 because it's really draggy in the middle. I really like the Home Alone violence of the climax and the like just random Tim Bell pushing down people in a mall. And the first 5 minutes was so much stuff and not anything happening that it was fascinating to watch. But the middle part of the movie is just people talking to each other in different restaurants. So yeah, I think solid 4 for me.
All right. Any last thoughts about Witness Unprotected?
I will say that to watch this from the UK, obviously we had no access to it in the UK, which I do feel like is a public service for the rest of the people here. I will say it took me longer to find out how to watch it than it did to watch the film. So what I would like to say is thank you so much, because I had a real technology lesson in how to get around everything to watch this film. But as I say, it was actually quite I did laugh very hard. So I'm so sorry. All I can say is I'm so sorry for you that you have to watch these. I
We
can't
don't
believe
have
this isn't
to.
the worst of the bunch.
No, this is solid middle of the road. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
if this is also known as Killer Close-Up in the UK, so maybe if any UK people are interested, maybe that's an easier way to search for it. Well, thanks for joining us. Do you have anything on social you want people to follow or anything like that?
You can find me on Instagram at Chaotic Clumsy. It's all one word. Most of the things that I post go on there, so that's where you can find me. And whatever I happen to be doing, which is 100% just watching all these films now back to back.
Amazing. Well, it's
Yeah.
been a pleasure meeting you and having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Do
Okay,
you
so I
have
will
do you have another guest lined up for next time?
No, but I'll figure something out.
Oh, okay.
If
So
it's
you'll
just
figure
you
out
and
the
me, we
movie?
can do it too.
Yeah, all
the
right.
movie will be,
Yeah.
speaking of guest,
Mhm.
unwelcome guest. And this time it's going to be slightly different because there's a husband in the movie. Think
Oh, a
about
real
that.
husband, not a dead husband or
Not
an
a dead husband
ex-husband?
or an ex-husband or a distant husband or probably emotionally distant, but yeah.
Unwelcome guest. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Let's
See
go
you
eat some
all
food.
next time.
I'm gonna go shop and
Lunchtime.
eat like women do.
Women be eaten. Wait, no,
I've already
it's
shopped
the other
and
one.
eaten today. That means I just have to sit here until it's tomorrow.
You gotta wait to open the door and
I'm
not
like
bank.
I'm like a sim. If you don't move me, I just sit and wait for instruction.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Going Over Our Freds was created and produced by us, Michael Kennedy and Meredith Halsey.
Our theme was composed and performed by Justin Nozick. Find more music for him at Bandcamp. Search for The Plague Physicians.
Artwork by Michael Kennedy. Special thanks to everyone who helped make the season possible, including the friends and family who let us watch these movies instead of this year's Academy Award nominees. And thank you for listening.
If you'd like to hear more from us, subscribe to Going Over Our Freds on your favorite podcast app. Follow us on Twitter at Goof Podcast, and find us on Instagram at Going Over Our Freds.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. For questions, comments, and complaints, email us at goingoverourfreds@gmail.com.
Thanks.